Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today we will be doing the living room fireplace makeover part 2. In part 1, I shared with you how I painted the fireplace tiles, removed and reinstalled the mesh screen curtain, and repainted the hearth and the log holder. Today I'm going to build the fireplace surround. As this is the first time for me to do woodwork like this, I did a lot of research and watched many videos on the subject. However, I didn't see any project plans that could be used for my own project. On most of the videos I watched, the side pillars were either built on the flat floor at each side or on the step level with the fireplace. I cannot build the pillars from the step straight up, as there is a vent on either side of the wall that could be blocked if I ran pillars over them, which cannot be done. Initially, I had a difficulty to come up with any good ideas, but eventually I was able to design a plan that would work for my fireplace. So let's jump right to it. First, I used the stud finder to locate the studs and used the painter's tape to mark the location of each stud. Then I needed to install 2 pieces of wood on each side to be used as vertical support for the pillars. I used a 2x4 for the inside and 2x3 for the outside. The length is 61 inches, which is the same height of the new mantelpiece. I intended to raise the new mantel much higher than the old one, as the wall is quite high and I believe the higher mantelpiece will give the room a better visual appearance. On the left side, there are no studs behind the 2 supporting wood pieces. The stud is 1 inch off the 2x4 and a much further distance from the 2x3. I will have to use the pocket hole tool to drill the holes in the 2x3, then attach it to the 2x4 as one piece, and then drill the screws in at an angle to reach the stud. I recently bought this Craig 720 Pro pocket hole jig from Amazon. I used to have a simple version of this tool, but this one is much better and makes the job much easier. I put the 2 pieces of wood on the floor, then used the wood glue and the clamps to secure them together. Then used the pocket hole screws to attach them into one piece. As the stud was too far away from the wood, I used the 3.5-inch screw nails at an angle to screw the wood piece into the stud. I also used the impact screwdriver to push the screws slightly lower than the wood surface, so later if any boards added on top of this will be level.
I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. I've changed for the better this time. I thought I would never be fine. I strive just to say I'm alright, and for the first time in a long time I'm alright. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not
For the front, I used a piece of 1x8 on each side. The actual width was 8 inch. Each one runs from the bottom of the floor to the top of the mantel frame.
I've changed for the better this time.
For the size of the pillars, I used the 1x3 for the outside and the 1x2 for the inside.
And for the first time in a long time, I'm alright. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago. I've changed for the better this time. I thought I would never be fine. I strive just to say I'm alright, and for the first time in a long time I'm alright. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago.
I then put the two pieces of 1x2 over each side of the faceboard. As I wanted to stay with my budget, most of the wood materials I used were the leftovers from previous projects. These wood pieces were supposed to be the same height as the others, but they were a couple of inches shorter than what I needed. However, they will be covered over later, so it won't be an issue. I saved the supporting board for the old mantelpiece as I wanted to reuse it. And now I need to add another piece of wood to help me reach the higher level of the new mantel. As 2x4s are heavy, make sure to use screw nails to drill the 2x4s into the studs, as the drywall itself would not have supported such weight. Then I nailed the pillar fronts to the supporting boards. Now I need to install the baseboards, which will need to be much higher than the fireplace step. I have one piece of board with a 9¼ inch in width. It's perfect to be used for the baseboards. I placed it against the fireplace step and marked how much of it needed to be cut. Then used my jigsaw to cut it to fit. I must say, miter saw is the great tool for the 45-degree angles joints. Next, I cut a piece of 1x6½ inch board into 4 pieces. 2 at 14½ inch in length and 2 at 19½ inch in length. Then inserted them into the front of the pillars, longer pieces at the top and the shorter pieces at the bottom. For the top molding of the baseboard, I used the baseboard trim with the 3/4 inch in thickness. For the top part of the fireplace, I need to add 6 pieces of 2x4s and install them vertically between the 2 horizontal boards. These short pieces will add the extra support for the mantel and the surrounding. Luckily, I do have some short outdoor redwood boards on hand. They are the leftover pieces from the fence gate project I recently finished. Now I need to install the faceboards to cover the top section. But first I need a piece of 1x2¼ inch wood to cover the bottom, which is the gap between the wall and the faceboard. They don't sell that size of wood in the store. I do have a piece of 1x3 on hand, which needs to be trimmed down to 1x2¼ inch. There's a small lumber yard near my house. I often shop there, so all the staff know me very well. They have a table saw and told me before that whenever I need to rip off any wood pieces, just bring them over and they will do it for free. So I brought the 1x3 over and they ripped it down to 2¼ inch for me. Now I need to make some pocket holes and attach the bottom to the top faceboard. From this angle, you can tell that the bottom board is warped a little and not straight. So I need to use the wood glue and the clamps to help keep it straight. Start with the both ends first, then attach the middle part. And that worked out just fine. The distance from the bottom to the top is 13⅓ inch. So I'm using 2 boards to cover the top section. The bottom board is 8 inch in width and the top board is 4½ inch in width. This will leave a gap in between the boards, but that won't be a problem as I'm going to add another piece of horizontal board on top of it. The length of this board is 94 inches. Working alone with the wood, climb's always my best friend. Okay guys, that's it for today's video. On the next video, I'll be making the mantelpiece with the crown molding and all the decorative trim. So stay tuned and I'll see you very soon.